All right. Hello, my CNC brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Wednesday night evening live show where we talk CNC to the CNC fat, as you will. Ask your questions, put a question mark in front of your questions. That way Julianne can start them for us. So let's see. Oh, I got to take a look at how do we open this thing up? Oh, yeah, drinking game. Yeah, Mark, I saw that, by the way. You started the drink thing. And then, so now it's going to be extended because if you say, hey, Julianne, put that link in there, then we got a drink for that too.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah,
so,
Jack tried to start early.
oh, he did.
Yeah, he tried to start early. I said he was just too eager.
Gotcha. All right, Jack. Oh, Jack, I want to get you back on. We can talk some laser stuff again. So, uh, I think next Wednesday would be good. Let's see. I'm not going to be at AWFS until 2 weeks, so we can do that next week. Maybe get Jack on board. So Jack, if you're game, Jack in the shop is the laser guru and guru of many other things. All right. Well, so folks, how many were there when Liberty was doing a live with Mark Lindsay on Sunday? Put in the comment, I was there. All right, so we got Rich. I like that. He says, more drinks for everyone. And then we got Dan and who else? Cody's on board. Cody from the Jenny Bits guy. Cody, we got an order coming to you. We are out of stock in quite a few of your items. So, folks, we carry Jenny Bits on the IDC Woodcraft store. And so you see, we got some names popping up there. Julianne's throwing them in there. All our folks from the different areas, Minnesota, and just a good evening, y'all, from Ralph. Hello, Ralph. Billy, what's going on? Okay, well, today is open forum CNC questions and chewing the fat. So I want to start off by putting Liberty on center stage a little bit because,
Uh-oh.
yeah, because new to the group. Hope I can keep up. Chris, welcome to the new group. Hey, anybody who is brand new to CNC, I would love for you to let us know. Put it in the comments. Hello from Birmingham. And Billy was there. Jetty was there. Windy City Smokers. That's some. Gosh, I've been talking to him for years. Jeff, and he's got that cool smoker. I bought that thing. Folks, you ought to check that out. Find his website and link that. If you're a bourbon drinker, he's got really top end smokers. I bought 3 of them, 2 of them for gifts and 1 for myself. And very high quality, really nice. Michael was there. Tommy was there. Liberty had a bunch of people that were there.
Yeah.
Super cool. What do you all think of the story? All right, Liberty was sharing a bit more of herself. I learned more about Liberty. One of the things I like about her is her ambition and whatever she's going to do in her life as she moves. When she moves on, she's always expanding herself, and that's really cool. And I always endorse that. So it'd be cool to be a part of that. So yeah, we put the link in for Windy City Smokers. If you're a bourbon drinker, check it out. It's a very cool smoker. So Dan says, don't have a CNC yet, but bought Kyle's course. Just started watching his videos.
Ooh.
What do you say about that one, Liberty?
Yes.
Amen.
Exactly.
Yep. You're getting yourself into getting yourself educated up the right way instead of doing what was that, YouTube University?
Yeah.
which has not a very structured curriculum. Let's see. Don started Kyle's course this weekend is also. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Kyle's course is, most of you probably do know who Kyle is. Kyle Ely, he is the Vectric Master. Liberty has gone through many of his classes. in his course. It's like the only vectric course out there, but it's very detailed. And people know, people that have been in it have commented on here before. I always say if you spend $4,000 in your CNC, another $500-600 in your bits all the time to tool up, and you buy the Vectric software, and then we go the hard route and try to figure it out ourselves. Not the way to go. Not the way to go. So we've linked it here, of course. And Norman said, "What John?" Yeah, cheers. Norman said, "What John said." So what did John say? Find that question. I'm kind of curious. Oh, there
right
it is. From a bit perspective, what is the deepest that bit can accurately cut outwood, such as for box or a bowl? So the answer is as deep as the cutting depth is designated on it. So the flute cut depth. So when CNC bits are spec'd out, they are going to give you the spec for the actual cut depth of the blades. So in a CNC router bit, there is that flute. The flute is that channel in front of the cutting tooth. And that goes up and it kind of tapers out. Well, that taper out is called the flute washout. But before that flute washes out, there is a tooth that is ground on there. So the deepest you can go to maintain accurate cut and not have any other effect is the depth of the cutting teeth. So whenever you see flute length, they're usually referring to the depth of cut that bit is capable of doing. Yep. So there you go. That's the answer to that question. I like that question. It's a good one. And so Liberty, so putting you on the hot seat a little bit, what do you got going on in at IDC Woodcraft? We have expanded we're expanding our room. Talk about it. So what all are we doing?
So right now we just got a hold of essentially just as much space as we have now. We've got it twice again. We got a hold of a new apartment right next to where we are in order to create more room for storage because we're having to keep a lot more stock around, y'all. And then a studio for myself. I am doing the research and the talking and all that to purchase a CNC now for the studio so we can do more filming. We can have more time throughout the day to be able to step away and, once something's dried or cured, to go through the processes and learn lots of more.
Yeah. So something tells me you're going to have more stuff than I have. Something tells her. I mean, I know she's going to be doing what I haven't really done, which is the epoxy stuff. You'll do the epoxy combo kind of stuff. You're going to get into some other stuff, which I haven't gotten into. Folks, I have to stop because I forgot to introduce Julianne. So, Julianne,
Yes,
I'm just going to bring you on board real quick. So, you all know who else runs the show and sits in the background and throws in all those links is the lady Julianne, the administrator for IDC Woodcraft and Liberty fulfillment manager. Now she's taken on another role as a content creator too. So that's kind of cool. So are you ladies are giving something away, a surprise giveaway sometime tonight too? I'm assuming. Maybe not. Maybe.
think about it.
Yeah. Who knows what it is? I never know. Well, sometimes I say, why don't we do this? But most of the time they just do it on their own. So okay, well, there's Julianne, and we'll bring her back on board at some point. All right, cool. So, Liberty, what's a project that's on the next project on your mind?
So I've got a couple of things going mentally, a couple of need to do's and a couple of want to do's. One need to do is I need to carve out a new spoil board for Adam's machine that he takes photos on. Just something a little bit cleaner to take photos of the bits and stuff on. And then want to do some practicing with inlays. I need practice in my shoot for that is I'm going to take the little bee inlay that I did and make a bunch of coasters until I get it perfect and I have fun. So, yeah, just a couple other things artistically in works, but not full into project mode yet. But my next goals are glue up and more inlay practice.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, so your first inlay was kind of a botch job, but you recovered on it, right? But that's the way we do it. You were frustrated. I remember coming in, and you had that look on your face like, I'm just throw me off a cliff.
Yep.
But you ended up getting it done, and so she's doing what we all have to do: is practice until you get it down. So in business, it's not just in business, but in life, there's this idea. There's unconscious competence, unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and then unconscious competence. And that practice starts from incompetence. You don't even know what you don't know. That's basically what that is.
Right.
To it becomes so automatic, it's easy.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, time to move on. I'm bored now.
Exactly. I want to get bored. I want to get so good I get bored of it, and then we'll move on. Then I'll be satisfied.
Yep. Right. Okay. Randy has jumped in. He says, newbie here, have a question longer than the chat box will allow. Is there an email to send it to? Well, if you're going to do it in chat, it has to be less than 200 characters. If you're going to send an email, you can send to Garrett@idcwoodcraft.com.
Yep.
And that's how we'll get that. Well, welcome. We always love the newbies. Get a little happy dance going on there. So, yep. All right, Liberty, let's dive into some questions.
Yeah, right. Let's see. Well, I mean, what have you been working on, Garrett? What's on your project agenda?
So I have, I just got finished doing a video. It took me about a week and a half. So it's a deep dive beginner's tutorial on the G-Sender, the new release of G-Sender. So it's a G-Sender 101, and it takes up that, it covers the whole software as far as CNC routers go. So that took me a week. But the thing I'm going to do now is, so I made this project a while ago. And we got the other one, which is, so this is a 3D project. The other one is a wavy flag project. So I'm going to be making that one next. I did a glue up, got some of that lumber from Tiny Timbers. And I did a glue up, and I am not set up for proper glue ups. So I got to get all my C clamps out. I had to take 2x4s and put spacers under them between each board and screw them down outside. Just kind of, what do you call them? Hillbilly clamps, I guess. But it worked. It worked. So that is going to be my next project. On my end, it's very much business, and I don't know. I have to figure out how to get into content creating and focus on the business goals as well. So that's a bit of a challenge. I want to expand the team and got an idea how to expand the team, but I also got to, the project I'm working on is I want to shore up the IDC Woodcraft ecosystem as far as AI is concerned. Because the idea of being found in search engines, people are going more and more to things like ChatGPT or Gemini to get their answers. And the day of what they call the blue links, when you go to Google and they got all the blue links, that is coming to an end. With the advent of AI, and as AI tools are coming into play, people are going to be relying more and more on that. So I have to get positioned. The company, technology is changing. If the company doesn't grow with that technology, then we will fall behind. That's what I'm working on. And I'm going to be AWFS for a couple of days, looking for other companies. We're also, Liberty and I were talking to a guy that was had a new product that I have been thinking about, but I really couldn't come up with the concept. He came up with the concept, something that is going to be very. I think it's going to. What do you think? What do you think? Without saying what it is.
I think I am, like I said, I'm very excited to utilize this tool. And if it goes how I think and hope it will, I'm very excited to back it.
Yeah, I love innovation, and that was innovative. So we're in the throes
Yep.
of trying to figure that one out. All right, let's hit on the next one. Jack
All
is out.
right.
Next.
Let's see. I have a new wave CNC for newbie having problems making it work with the new Gene Sender. Will not run.
So I have a next.
Well,
So wait, we're talking two different machines here. Next Wave is one
yeah,
brand, and CNC for Newbies is another brand.
yeah, that I'm confused.
Yeah. So okay. So PW G Sender is based on the GRBL platform and the GRBL HAL platform. That's GRBLHAL. And I do not believe Next Wave is built on that platform. The CNC for Newbie should be, I think it is a GRBL unit. So, but the best thing you can do is contact the company. So Next Wave is one machine, CNC for Newbie is another one. So you got two companies to talk to.
Yep.
Did you
Right.
G Sender? Wait a minute, did you install the new G Sender yet?
I have not.
You haven't. I actually playing with it for a little while. I like it better.
Just the screenshot that I saw of it, I feel like it's gonna be good, but I'm still nervous.
Yeah,
I don't like change.
I get it. All right, let's do it.
All right. Have you tried the marble maze using epoxy yet?
So this is the marble maze right here, and this file comes free with the 1/4 inch downcut bullnose end mill. So we introduced that what 4 months ago, 4 or 5
Yeah.
months ago, and it worked beautifully with this because bullnose, with the upcuts, they tend to do a lot of tear out and chip out. And when you're making a project like this, I didn't want a flat channel on the bottom. I wanted a rounded channel, so the marble runs around smoother. And so anyway, this file you get with that bit, which there will be a link in there, but you also get that ball bearing for your marble maze. And you get instructions, tells you everything you need, where all your supplies come from, G code programs, vector program, what else, SVG, DXF, DIY, KPI, whatever. So I'm assuming he's talking about this. By the way, folks, this is a really cool project to work on. If you haven't got that downcut ball nose, this is a really fun project because it's an assembly. So I'm assuming he's talking about making this whole thing out of epoxy. Is that right? Pouring the
I
epoxy.
think so.
So what's your
Like
thoughts?
making an epoxy block and then
Yeah.
carving it out.
So what are your thoughts as you know more about epoxy than me? What?
But you know more about carving and the do's and don'ts than I do, though. My head wants to say that's not likely a good idea because of the down cutting.
Yeah,
And
you have to,
so it won't shoot things out properly like it needs to. I'm thinking similarly to like acrylic. When you're
yeah.
carving into it, you want it to shoot out, and it's not going to shoot it out like that. I assume I would see either it not carving well, some melting, some, it getting stuck or broken. I don't
Okay,
know.
O flute bit for that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should come up with a ball nose O flute. I don't know if there is one. Would that Would anybody want a bit like that? Does anybody see a need for a ball nose O flute?
Possibly.
Put in the
Thinking
comments.
about it.
Yeah, put in the comments if that is something that would even be a viable bit. Interesting. All right. Let's get on Jack. Oh, it's a question for
Right.
you.
It is.
Liberty, how many
Drinks do
drinks
I
do you
have
have
ready?
ready?
I actually only have one. I picked up this kombucha spritzer. It's like a good gut drink from Aldi's, but I did consider trying to bribe my fiance to go down to the adult drink store down the road.
Yeah, I haven't seen your place yet. I'm not sure where your house is at yet.
No, it's over here on Walnut. You need to come over. I'll have to
Okay,
have you
yeah,
over
we'll
here
do,
soon. We'll have a
we'll
little
do that.
grill out.
Yeah,
And then
Greg
this
from
one's another one for me. Did I have
right.
fun on Mark's group live last Sunday? Yes, I did. It was an amazing group. Like I knew 97% of everybody in the comments. It was not as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be. And I'm very happy to have gotten the experience.
Yeah, that's
All
pretty
right.
cool. How does so as you're getting more and more in the limelight, how's it feeling for because as I watched the live and I've got about 10 more minutes, I had my grandkids with me. So hey, there's Jay. What's going on there, sister? Hi, Jay.
Say hi.
But you're starting to get your toes wet in a lot of different areas now, pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
Pretty quickly. You've been to a couple of the shows, and you'll continue to be going to the shows. The only one you're not going to is this one. We're going to the Texas Woodworkers Fair,
Hmm.
um, and so how's it feel getting your toes wet and all this different stuff?
It's scary. It's scary, but it's amazing. Like the support that I've received, and the just the people that I've been able to connect with throughout all of it, whether it be at the events or through the live comments here or through customer calls, things like that. Like it's been an opportunity I honestly didn't really ever see for myself.
Yeah,
Are you
but
proud of your PB&J?
okay. So Daniel's saying, do we get to know about the new bit today?
That's a question for you, sir. Do they get to know about the new bit today?
Okay. Well, here's my answer.
Oh.
And that is the new bit. There you go.
That was good. That was good.
Right, right. So not just yet.
Hey,
Hey,
Liberty, Next Wave is having Christmas in July. Next Wave 15% off through July. Good to know. I know, I know. I've been on their website.
yeah, we're talking to him. I'm going to be talking to him at AWFS as well. So we're probably going to get their equipment on our site as well.
Awesome. I'm
So most
excited for
likely.
that.
Yeah. John is follow up. What's the longest flute cutting length that you offer for milling a bowl or a box? Okay. So the longest flute length really depends on the size bit that you have. So for 1/4 inch down cutting end mills, we have an 1.5 inch flute length. Our hog is a 1/4 inch upcut, and that's 1.5 inch as well. It's when you get into the 3/8 tooling and the 1/2 inch tooling that things start to change. I got to bring up the IDC website so I can look at them because we have so many bits. I don't remember how. I don't keep this stuff in my head anymore. We can let me share screen. Hold on, I gotta switch this over to here. And I don't know if it is. I don't know if our app is updated for all the bits. I could have gone to that, but I don't think it is. So the 1/2 inch tooling. Let's see. Let's go to 3. I'm looking at the website right now. So our 1/2 inch tooling, we got up to 1.5 inch standard upcut, downcut, compression end mills, but we don't have a lot of that in stock yet. And then the 3/8 is going to be pretty much the same thing, 1.25 inch. But if you want your deep tooling, we've got the 1/2 inch ripper, and the slayer is the 3/8 inch. And I'm going to share screen. 1/2 inch tooling, I am going to. That's the other thing I got to get into my list of all the things that I'm working on. So let's see. We got the deep ripper, which is we didn't put the depth on that title, so I got to look at that specs. The deep ripper is flute length is 2.75 inches, and where's the 3/8 deep slayer, 2.25 inches, 2.25 inches. So there you go. That's what we got for the longest flutes. When you're doing bowls and stuff, I'm thinking when you're probably talking 1/4 inch shank tooling. So I don't know. So what I would do is first you got to know what tools you want. And then you can come to the website and actually search those tools, and you go to the down in the description area. It'll say the specs and that, and it'll have it there. Or you can get the app, the IDC Woodcraft phone app, and we have all that information on the phone app as well. So it's the only phone app that's out there for CNC bits. We have all our specs on there, feeds and speeds, chip loads. Got a chip load calculator. You got your setup checklist. You can tell what CNC you have. If you need to know like if you have a trim router or Makita, it'll tell you what dial setting for the particular spindle speed. It's got all that information on it. So that will be linked, and it's always linked in the descriptions of every video that we do. Okay. Let's get the next one.
All right. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Hi, Garrett and ladies. Why would a long mill MK2 ramp down in a cut, and how can I stop the ramping down in G-Sender? Thanks.
So how do you interpret that question?
Well, by the language of it, I would say it's maybe plunging down in when it's not supposed to. Or there is a ramp in that he's not wanting, and that would be back in the design software in the G-code builder. So yeah, as far as if it's plunging down through G-Sender, like, just ramming into something, it's likely either a setting you need to fix in the Vectrix, or I don't know.
Okay, so the way I interpret this question, Tom, is there's something called, I'm going to suspect he's getting bit slip. Okay, so here's the way I'm seeing this question is you are carving something, and the tool is slowly getting lower and lower. And what is going on is generally a very common problem is something we call bit slip. And what is bit slip, and how do you prevent it, Liberty? I'm asking her because this is all part of getting her trained up, make sure she's got it in her head.
So bit slip would be tightening of your collet.
Yeah,
making sure your collet's tight, or high enough up in the collet, proper chucking. Yeah.
The main reason for bit slip is because they're not cleaning the sawdust out of the collet.
Because they're not cleaning it out. Yeah.
Yeah, so you always want to make sure every time you do a bit change, you clean the sawdust out. Another thing is how tight you're tightening the nut. Number one, don't super tighten it, because what you're going to end up doing is getting the inside of the collet polished. And collet inside can actually be too smooth. So you don't want to be super tight. The way I do it I'll pull the bits tight until it doesn't move anymore, and then I give it one more little pull, and that should get you set up. The other thing is, like she said, you're telling it to ramp in the Vectric software, but you have to specifically tell it to ramp
Yeah.
in the design software. So I'm going to suspect you have bit slip. So if it doesn't stop, clean out your collet every time. So that means clean out the collet nut and the collet, and also make sure you clean the inside of the spindle every once in a while as well. You can do it with a little piece of Scotch-Brite. And if you still get that problem, you might need to replace your collet.
Yep.
Because the collet might be damaged. One of the ways, another thing is a damaged collet. So you said one of them, right? When we get returns, so IDC Woodcraft bits are guaranteed. If you break it for 90 days, if you break it, we'll replace it. We don't, even if it's your fault, right? But what is one of the common things that you see in bit returns?
It's the checking.
Yeah.
It's the checking. Like 9 times out of 10, it is a checking issue.
Yeah. So what are they doing?
Not chucking it up far enough.
Yeah.
Or with certain smaller bits, I've seen a lot of over chucking with some smaller bits too.
Okay. So what she's talking about is on this little table here. This is the proper holding of CNC router bits, our chucking guide, because we see bits that come back when we guarantee a bit. We want to see the bit. We want to see what's going on. Is it a manufacturer defect, or we also want to make sure it's our bit. We don't want to replace with other people's bits. But the number one problem we see is, let's skip the right hand going on, is people try to extend their bit out as far as they can, so they're barely chucking up in the collet. By maybe a quarter of an inch, they'll put that shank in there, and there's no support. And when they tighten things down, number one, they're just tightening on one area of the collet. And what was also happening is that collet is now deforming like this. And so the corner of the tool is now grabbing on a corner like that in a collet, and there's no grip, and the bit will bounce and it'll just snap. So if you're not putting it up far enough, then that's another reason you're going to have that problem. This is a free download, so make sure if you don't have it, get it. And first time customers, what do they get?
They always get one.
Yep, they get it as a sticker. It's a little bit smaller.
First time customers get it. Roughing bits always get it. Replacements always get it.
That's good. I'm glad you sent them with the replacements.
Our extended bits always get it.
Yeah, and they always get M&Ms. Yeah. All right, let's hit the next one.
All right. Question on Vectric. I have a CNC with no screen. It is plugged into my laptop. If I run Vectric, I need another program to put it to the machine? Yes, you do. G-Sender. Well, I guess it depends upon your machine.
Right.
Depends upon the machine.
Yeah. So it didn't say what machine he has. So the way it works, here's the process of the ecosystem of running a CNC. Number one is the design software, designing it. The second, that's CAD. The second one is CAM, or computer-aided machining. That's where you set up your tool paths. The third is the G-code generation, saving the tool path. And the fourth is you need to send that G-code into a controller that will tell the CNC what to do. And we use G-Sender, and that is the controller. It's a control software that sends the G-code to the machine. So it manages the machine. So in this case, Chris, Vectric is design, CAD, and it's CAM. And it'll generate the G-code, but it will not run your machine. So if you have a GRBL-based machine, get G-Sender. That will be linked. The tutorial video, it's an hour and a half video, but it dives deep into G-Sender. Everything on it, many things in the background, and then I walk you through actually doing it. but how to actually like a live run through, so you see how it all falls together. Hour and a half video on G-Sender. Why do I make hour and a half videos, Liberty?
To get every detail in so no newbie is left behind.
Yeah, I guess that's why I do it. Kind of follows my mission. I was so frustrated when I first got into CNC that I have to go to one place to know one thing, another place to know another thing, another place to know another thing. DIY, YouTube University. It's like, somebody just give me the right YouTube video. And
Yep.
people were asking me, I would do this short video, maybe 15 minutes. Then they say, well, can you do this in those videos too? So I started doing that. Then they said, by the time I was done, they were asking me, can you do a complete walkthrough of a project from concept to absolute finish? Now you're getting an hour and a half videos.
Yep.
Those videos are so hard to do.
All right.
Yeah. If your machine is GRBL based, get G-Sender. Contact your machine company to find out what control software will work with it if it's a GRBL based machine. Okay.
This one's from Johnny Gardner. He says, if a board goes out on a Shapeoko 4, is it possible to put a different board in it, and is it worth doing? Talking about spoil board like pieces?
No, I think he's talking about the circuit board.
Oh, circuit board. Sorry, my head went straight to wood.
Yeah, I am not the technical guy to answer that, and I don't plan to be. I don't plan to be. I'll tell you who to reach out to for that. First of all, here's what I can probably say to that is you probably can. If you're replacing the brains of the machine, then you probably can. But your connectors all have to align with the new board that you're using. So the motors on the machine get fed pulses. They get fed pulses at a certain rate to know how to turn. You would have to tune in your motors, setting up the stepper values. It'd be a lot of work, but I would think that you probably could. I'm just not the guy to really dive into it. But you can talk to someone like Shapeoko. Ask them. If you don't like the way their thing runs, then try PWN CNC. Daniel's pretty stinking smart, man. He is a technical whiz. Okay. Interesting question.
All right. If you want to change the depth of a cut in a particular job for a tool, you edit the depth in the section of the tool for that job, not in the tool database. Does it maintain that for the job? I mean, for that tool path, it will maintain it. For a new tool path, it will not. It will revert back to the original settings, correct?
As far as I know.
Like if you go in and change it within that tool path, not inside the database?
Yeah. So, yeah. Yes, you're right. You're right. If you duplicate that, so if you edit the toolpath in the toolpath, in that particular toolpath, there's a way to edit the data without editing the main database. So if you copy that toolpath, it'll carry that information over, but it won't change the database. Does it maintain it for that job? I don't know. You'd have to actually create a second toolpath and see if it maintains that.
I don't believe it does because it changes it just within that tool path.
Yeah.
I think.
Play with it a little bit just to see. I'm almost, because I think I experienced this at one point, and I think we are going to bring up my Vectric screen. Let's bring up Vectric. I'm just curious. I want to see this. So we're going to first bring up Vectric, and we're just going to do a quickie here. Create a new job. We're just going to accept that. And I'm going to put in we'll just create a square. We're going to do a profile around the square. So we'll do that. And we have the 1/4 inch end mill down cut. We're going to do an edit. So when you select your CNC bit for toolpath, you can hit the select button, which is right there, and that will open the CNC bit database. That's your master data. Or you can go to the button next to it that says edit, and you can change that. It's going to pull in the information from the database when you select the tool, but when you go to edit, it's only going to change that tool data within this tool path. So we're going to change the tool data we're going to change the path depth. It's at a 0.5. We're going to change it to 0.25. That'll be enough. And I'm just going to calculate that out. Okay, there we go. Tool cut through material. That's okay. And now we're going to close that. Now I'm going to open up that. And we're going to look at that data again. I'm going to go to edit. I'm just reopen the toolpath to create a new toolpath, and it kept the new data. So it looks like it's going to retain that. If I select it, so what it did, I'm going to go back to that edit. And right there is that 0.25. That was a 0.5 in the main database. So we're going to go back to that extended and milled down cut. I think we should change that depth of cut on that as a standard. And I'm going to select it. And now it says 0.25 here. Well, let's see extended. So let's go back to the extended 1/4 inch down cut. And I'm not sure. I'm just going to start that one over. We're going to cancel that because I'm not sure if I'm selecting the right bit for the same bit. So we're going to start a new toolpath. Wait a minute, get out of that. I'm going to delete that toolpath. I am learning something here, so just bear with me. And if Mark's on board, he can also share some information on this. So I'm going to create a new toolpath. We're going to select the 1/4 inch down cut end mill from the main database, and that has a 1/4 inch pass depth. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to edit that here, and I'm going to change that to 0.125 and click OK. And then we're going to create the toolpath and close that. Now we're going to create a new toolpath, and it's retain that bit. I'm going to go to edit, and it's got the 0.125. So it carried the 0.125 over because it retained all that data. Now, if I go into the database with that bit, it still has the 0.25 there. Okay, so there you go. It looks like it retains it until you change it. Hope that makes sense. I just learned something. Yes, it will hold that information. All right.
So while I'm sitting here thinking about it, it kind of makes sense because, I mean, if you think about it, when you change what bit is in it, it keeps that.
Yeah.
You know, change, I want it to be a ball nose in the profile cut. It keeps that when I create another profile cut for that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just carries the data. So when you populate a toolpath and you calculate, then you reopen that toolpath, it's going to pull in all that data. Mark says it also remembers the depth of cut from the previous toolpath. So if we change it, it's going to pull that information in as well. But it's not changing it in the main database.
Beautiful. All
Hi,
right.
Ellen. Ellen's here.
Yep. I popped over and.
All right, cool. Next.
All right. Looks like Vista Sculpt may be the newest software upgrade for some of the hobby CNC people. Is IDC looking into that? I've not heard of it.
Yeah, Vista Sculpt. I think that's that's coming from Lightburn.
Oh, okay. I have heard of Lightburn's new program.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called that, though.
I'm going to look it up right now. Vista Sculpt and 3D AI Studio. All right, we're going to take a look at that and see what's going on. It's a 3D. So, all right, make a note of that so we can look into that. Yes, IDC will be looking into that for sure.
Yep.
So, folks, this is one of the things when I was talking about earlier in the beginning about I need to position IDC Woodcraft so it's AI friendly, right? But also have to be aware that there are AI tools coming out for many things. And this one here, this Vista Sculpt, it looks like it's a 3D generator for 3D projects or 2.5D projects, AI generator. And you can best believe that AI will migrate into CNC as well. So I have to always make sure that IDC Woodcraft is on board with all that stuff.
Hmm?
All right. Vista Sculpt will be
Premiering live on his Sunday stream this week.
okay. All right, cool. Make a note of that. I do want to watch Mark's show for that.
I said, count me there, Mark.
Yeah, I actually want to play with it. Let's just have a little fun. Let's
Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun.
let's see what Vista Sculpt is. So I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to go to Vista Sculpt. There we go. And so look at that. Holy something that was fast. Get started. And I have to create an account. I don't want people to see that information. I'm going to take my thing down for a second. I'll create an account. So just hold your horses for a second.
You told me to hold my horses, and that was the first thing that I thought of.
Okay, that's Liberty, of course. All right. All right, so let's reshare the screen for me.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see this Vista Sculpt thing. So video AI, audio AI. I hope I'm on the right thing. Texture AI, 3D library, the ultimate 3D creation hub. And so this is the page it took me to after I signed up. And we've got to get this other little screen out of the way. There it is, continue. I see, okay. Okay, let's create something incredible together. And it's got documentation, Discord. Come on, let's give me all the.
Hey there. Welcome to.
Okay, let's move on. Let's create a project. Create a project. We'll make the project color blue. Okay, project name is, we'll call it Mark's project. So since Mark is going to be talking about it on Sunday, we're going to create, and I don't know what to do from here. Tell me what to do. No files yet. I guess I have to upload an image to this. And okay, so I'll play with this a little bit later. It looks like I got my evening cut out for me, folks. New toy.
Yeah.
New toy. Just what I need. Something else thrown on my plate with all the other things. Good grief. Okay.
Something else to fill your time.
You know what? It's fun to continue to discover. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not learning, life becomes stagnant. That's what I was saying in the beginning. Once you get to that unconscious competence, it's like now we have to go to a new level. And that's kind of what has happened with IDC Woodcraft. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Oh, Mark said that's not Vista Sculpt I've ever seen. You sure you're on the right website? I don't know. I just typed the darn thing in, dude. So you'll
I'll figure that out for you and forward you the right stuff.
Yeah, somebody put a link to what it is in the comments, or Julianne, find out what the heck that is. And
it's a download, not a web-based app.
okay, I was wrong. I just wasted 5 minutes on the show going in the wrong direction. Okay, let's get on the next one.
All right. Question. If I make a design in Inkscape, can I use GSender to use it on my Xcarve?
Can't tell you, brother. I don't use Inkscape.
As I say, I don't know if it has I don't know anything about it.
Well,
Maybe
so
somebody in the comments uses it and can help out.
if Inkscape can generate G code, then yes. So Inkscape is design, right? But you have to be able to generate the G code because GSender is going to read the G code only, not the design file. So once you do design, you do the toolpath and you save that toolpath in a file of a G code file, then you import that. So if Inkscape somehow can create that G code, then yes, GSender will work. As long as the post processor is for your machine.
Jack says it can, but don't. I'm curious as to why. Oh, hi, Andy. Andy just popped on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What's going on there, Andy, my man? Yeah, he's the guy that. So he runs the channel Andy Bird's Bills. Pop his comment, his hello comment in there. It says, "Hey all, hope you all are doing well tonight." So, my gosh, Andy's an hour and 15 minutes away from us, and we have never gone down to visit him. He's like, Julianne, just get that into plans. Get it in the plans. Make it rock solid. Anyway, he's the guy that that I am telling folks. It's like with Kyle's. Let's get Andy back on the live. Let's get him to talk about this. So when it comes to business, right? So he's got a course out there. He's got 2 courses he's put together now. He's launched the second one. The first one is the CNC Side Hustle, and that is for those who want to start to learn how to make money with their CNC. It's learning how to make revenue is not just about making stuff and just throwing it out there, right? So it's about finding a niche, finding the right product, finding the right market for that product, maybe the right region. And so there's no courses out there that are oriented towards this, but Andy has put that together. But he also just launched a course. I haven't, we're signing up for it, but I haven't reviewed it yet. But it's about, it's the CNC Kickstarter, I think it's called. And it's for those who are brand new to CNC. And it's basically, if I understand it right, Andy, you'll have to just make sure I understand this, it's for people who are brand new in CNC, and you need that path to know how to start with a project concept, get it into the design, run it through that whole process, and end up with a real project in your hand and following all the little steps along the way. Because as new people, Liberty's experienced this, I've experienced it. There's lots of little bumps in the road, all kinds of little things that can go wrong. It can be extremely frustrating. I've seen people give it up. They've sold their CNCs because they didn't have the right guidance. All right. And so if we got the link for it, we'll throw that in here too, but definitely check it out if you're brand new. So, but Andy, we're going to get you back on the show. Okay. Let's see. He said it launches July 28th, and he said I nailed it, so I got it right for the Kickstart, CNC Kickstart. So July 28th. Let's make a note too. We'll send an email out about that as well. Probably a weekend update video too. All right, let's rock on.
All right, let's rock and roll. Just because we like bugging you with it. Any update on the new tool release?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk to you about the new tool. The new tool is, and that's exactly what it is. So if somebody wants it, then you can have it. Y'all got that?
Yep.
I didn't see
way too long to catch on. I thought it was glitching.
Yeah, Julianne, I'm going to bring you on board. We're not going to give information away about this new tool. We have done some testing on it. We got it in a couple other people's hands, or getting in a couple of people's hands to test it, just to make sure everything is good and copacetic. We already know it is, but it's like I want to make sure it's. I just like to get that feel, make sure we got enough fingers in the pie, but not too many fingers in the pie, not yet. But we've been working on this since like friggin' October.
It's been a while.
It has. It probably would have gone faster. But there's a lot of other things that are going on. But this is a premium premium bit. So October, and what all have we been doing with this thing? What are all the things? Where are we at? Where do you think, ladies? Where do you think we're at as far as release on this?
We're in the finishing touches of um, getting it into your hands ish. Like, that's the best way I can put it. We're in the finishing touches of getting it into your hand. Everything's been decided, at least at this point. Finally, all the decisions have been made, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
all the decisions have been made. Now things are just slowly but surely piling on top of each other, falling together.
Yep, all the pieces are, aside from the product itself, the packaging, the stickers, the labels, all of that is slowly coming together. So,
how much money do you think we've invested in this so far?
including all different sizes of it?
All the way around, ever since we
All the
started.
way around.
I'm thinking $130,000. 130K, maybe 100, more like 100.
I was gonna say it's like 100, 110. I don't know. There'll be more of an expense as well because.
Well, we just secured some more carbide.
Yeah, that was 50K.
Right? So that was 70,000 plus 50,000, right? Plus the packaging. That's almost. Am I wrong when I'm saying packaging is almost 10K all the way around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
This isn't your normal. This isn't your normal bit, folks. It's just not your normal bit. But you're going to love it.
Level in every way.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't factor in the new web page it's going to have for itself. So yeah, you're probably right. 130,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus all the technical time, lots of stuff going on. So at this point, when will we tell? So I'm estimating 2 more months. It's taking longer than I thought. Maybe a month and a half.
Go for the 2 months because we still got a little production time on the packaging, just because we had to alter those sizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so once I'm sure of a release date, then I will start letting people know.
And then in answer to Gary's question, we're not going to do pre-orders on it. We're just going to release it to the list first, like we always do.
The list is first.
Yep.
And we know you're on that.
Yep. CNC insiders definitely are going to be notified of this first.
And then, no, it does not mean that only
question.
experts can use it.
Say again?
Carrie asked, does it mean only experts can use it? No. It
Nope.
does not.
Nope. It's a top-end professional level bit. So I'll say it like this. So we carry the Jenny bit series that Cody makes on the IDC Woodcraft website. And a lot of people ask all the time, what's the difference between IDC Woodcraft bits and Jenny bits? So it's been an interesting question because I haven't really, there's a better answer than I've given for this. And the answer is like this. So you have CNC bits out there that are like, does anybody remember the Chevy Vegas? They were rust buckets, right? Super cheap cars. There's bits out there like that. There's your bits out there that are your average everyday coupe. And then there's your Cadillacs. And that's where IDC Woodcraft, I've worked to have IDC Woodcraft built in. Then you have your Jenny bits, which are more like Ferraris, right? So, because I know Cody does a lot of his, I know how he designs stuff. So, and he's got his fingers in the entire pie. So it's kind of like that. IDC Woodcraft, you can compare it to the kind of the Cadillac range, and the Jenny bits, you can compare them to more like the Ferrari range, high performance. This next bit is going to be at that level. What are you laughing about?
I just saw Bill's comment. He said, "Come on, a Pinto would fit better."
Oh, Pinto. I don't want my bits to explode, dude.
My aunt had one of those cars. Mom said it had plaid seat covers.
Really? That's
Yeah.
funny.
Like pea green and hot orange.
Right.
Plaid
Like my
seat
shirt?
Yep.
covers.
That's the story of that. That's the story of that bit, but it's even going a notch higher. Right. So I'm going to put this one at. You got the Ferraris, and this one I am going to put at. What's the next level above Ferrari? Bugatti.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
I was thinking
Yeah.
Lamborghini.
Yeah, I think Lamborghini is a little bit below the Ferrari.
That's
I'm not
not
sure.
a
They're
sports
kinda-
car.
Yeah, but they're still supercars, right? All right, Bill gave us $5 super sticker. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Little contribution. Okay, cool. That's the story. Sticking to it. We ain't gonna tell you yet. Ain't saying anything yet. But be on the CNC Insiders list because I will also be announcing it publicly too. So CNC Insiders will get a little bit of a discount. It's not going to be, when we do a release of a new product, we generally give a 15% discount under IDC branded stuff. This one will not have the 15% because it's much higher level. It costs quite a bit more to make. Yeah. By the way, folks, I get the question too, are we affected by tariffs? Well, it is now starting to trickle down because the carbide cost, the way to get carbide is just because of the tariffs, they just recently changed the, like added whatever it is to the carbide. So carbide is going up. That may mean a slight price increase, but we will keep that at a bare minimum, but we'll definitely tell people if we need to do that. All right. Pintos. Mike used to work on Pintos too. Pintos better than Vegas. I remember this. You know, some people put they'll put the big old 4x4. They'll take a car and turn it into a 4x4 with the big 4-wheel drive with the big, huge tires. You ever see those, Liberty? I've seen it done with a Cadillac. I've seen it done with a Vega. That was kind of funny. All right, let's hit some more questions. I think you're muted.
Whoops. Garnell, newbie here. Quick question. How to set up rough and final toolpath with VCarve Pro?
All right, what would you say?
Well, I would say it depends upon your toolpath, but your go-to is going to be an offset. If you're doing a flat depth V-carve, there's also the clear out option. I would pull up my V-carve, but my Wi-Fi is not strong enough for that.
I'll do it.
But yeah, an offset is gonna be your go-to for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can. I'll bring that up. I do want to bring up this one thing here. So it's Mike. He's apologizing for the government and what they do. You know what? On a business owner's end, you work with what you have, and you make it work. So as a business owner, my job is not to complain. My job is to solve problems. So whatever they do, I will figure out how to work through it or around it, one way or the other. I don't get mad about it. I don't complain about it. Not worth wasting my time on the negative energy. I like solving problems. Okay, so we're going to share screen for the. So we're talking roughing toolpath and finishing toolpath.
And then a finishing toolpath. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we'll go to Vectric, share. And so you would say we should do the offset technique, right, Liberty?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to delete this toolpath I made. Here's a little trick many people don't know. If you want to have a toolpath like we have right here, it's called Profile 2, you can delete it by just highlighting it and just hitting the delete button on your keyboard, and I'll get rid of it. And if you accidentally get rid of it, you hit Control Z and bring it right back. I found that one out accidentally. Okay, so we're going to do a pocket toolpath, and we're going to do this at, I got to set my material depth first. So I'm going to change my material depth to make it 1 inch. So we're going to make a pocket toolpath. And let's say we're going to be using the beast here. The first thing I would do is say we want our finish cut depth is going to be 0.75. I would set for your rougher cut depth to be 0.72. Leave some material on the bottom. Then this is going to be your roughing toolpath. So we want to do an offset on this, and that is going to be, where's the offset thing? Offset allowance. Come on, Garrett. Is the offset allowance on this or not? Talk to me, Liv.
No. My brain's blanking as you're like scrolling. It's either all the way down at the bottom. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not. Hang on, let me open mine. I might freeze.
It's embarrassing. It's not. I know.
It's so tiny. I'm trying to see it, but like on my screen, it's like. Meep.
Yeah.
Here we
let's
go.
See. Okay, just looking at the comments here, just to see pocket allowance. Yeah, pocket allowance. Why am I like pulling a brain fart here?
Here we go. Pocket. Here we go.
All right. Well, okay. I'm going to go to the other toolpath where I know that's at, and I'm not sure why I'm pulling that. So Mark was saying the pocket allowance. So we're going to do a profile toolpath, and we're going to cut the inside of the project. Now there's an allowance offset right here. You could allowance offset that 0.04, and that will offset the tool path inside the line by. So we're going to call this one offset. So this is on a profile. We'll come back to the other one in just a minute. And cancel. It says tool cut through material. I got to fix the depth. So it's going to be 0.72 is what we're cutting to. And so I'm going to just cut that out, and I just want to bring that back. So there is our tool path right there. And then I'm going to duplicate that tool path. I'm going to go into the duplicated toolpath. I'm going to set that allowance offset to be 0. And we're going to calculate that one. And now, so you see this toolpath here. This is for a profile. On the allowance, on the profile toolpath, you got the allowance offset, and it's right there. That's the roughing toolpath, and this is the finishing toolpath. So it's offset by the 0.04, and so that's the one way to do it. And the pocket allowance,
underneath ramp is what Mark said, but I can't get mine to load.
Oh, there it is. Duh.
Yeah.
I was looking for a checkbox for some reason. Okay, all right. That wasn't fun, but. Stuff happens. Okay.
It's called the pressure.
I'm going to create my depth of 0.72. That's our roughing. We're using the beast end mill. And so there's pocket allowance. And we're going to put in a 0.04. And run that one and calculate that. And I'm going to delete the other two tool paths. So hit that one, delete, and delete. And we were going to color this tool path. So I'm going to go back into the toolpath. I didn't have to go back into it. I'm going to go into the preview toolpaths. It's not showing on this one.
Yeah, it should be the material area color.
Yeah, toolpath color. I'm going to assume it's selected. I know why it's doing this because it's the setting I have for my for my resolution on this. I'm going to just pick a color. I'm going to call it orange. And then we're going to preview all toolpaths. And so that's an orange color toolpath. And then I'm going to close that. We are going to duplicate that toolpath. And I'm going to click into that. We're going to take out that pocket allowance. And doggone it.
Pocket allowance is right underneath ramp.
Yeah, right there. Thank you. Okay, and we're going to calculate that one. We're going to change the color on that one to red. Okay, so now we're going to run that one. And basically what you're going to see is all this is going to turn red. Now what that's telling you is it's taking off the remainder of that material. And should turn red. It turned red on the sides, but it didn't do it on the bottom because it didn't change the bottom, the depth of the toolpath. So I'm going to 0.75. There we go. Calculate and then preview all toolpaths. And that all should be red. There we go. So what that's showing is that removed the remainder of that material, that allowance material. Okay, there we go. Liberty, when you start going live, which I'm working to convince her doing it, and little mistakes like that happen, you're going, oh gosh, pull the brain fart.
All right.
Why haven't I upgraded to VCarve 12.5? That isn't 12.5 there. I do have 12.5 on here. I didn't. I know why it says. So I got the hyperlink on my bottom, the quick link. And my toolbar didn't change that. Thanks for pointing that out. Because I got to get that new
yeah, I had to figure out how to change it to get it to stop logging into yours and start logging into mine. Like I had to remove the hyperlinks and stuff.
Okay. Yep. Handle the next question. I'm going to fix that right now.
All right. Trying to surface material per Garrett's video. First at depth, second pass at paper sheet thickness higher, next pass back at original depth, next pass back high, etc., all the way across. Huh? What's the question? I'm confused. Are you saying it's not going back and forth, so it's coming from one direction? No, that wouldn't even happen because unless you were selecting a start side. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the question is.
Let me take a look. I'm done doing what I was doing. It's trying to surface material per my video. So it's going to be, okay, that's the video that where we surface the top of a project. First pass at depth, second pass a paper sheet thickness higher, next pass back at original depth, next pass back high, etc., all the way across. So I'm thinking. So I don't know if you've done this. I've seen people do this on occasion. Might be what's happening. I'm going to speculate here because I'm with Liberty. I'm not quite grasping what the question is. But first, I got to relaunch Vector 12.5. I think I know. Okay, so let's open that up. Now I know why when I was opening Vector.
Each pass alternates the cut depth is what he says.
Yeah. Yeah, each pass alternates the cut depth. I'm thinking, this is just a guess. So first of all, I was wondering why when I was opening Vectric, it wasn't showing me the last stuff that I was opening up.
Right. Because it wasn't updated.
Well, 5 was showing me, but version 12 wasn't showing me. All right. So what I think is going on is, this is a guess. And if I'm wrong, forgive me. It's just very much of an assumption here. But we're going to share. I've seen new people do this. So we got this project right here. And let's just say we've created a cutout toolpath. And newer folks sometimes don't get that in order to get back into the toolpath you created, so like the one I got on the bottom here, we have to come down and double click into that toolpath. So I'd have to, if I want to change that toolpath, I'd have to come here. So now this is named, right? But the software is going to give you a default name. But I've seen other people, oh, they want to go back in that toolpath. They think they need to come up to the icon and do that. So they'll go click that. And basically what they're doing is starting a new toolpath. And you may be working with multiple toolpaths that way, where you're just creating new toolpaths. So other than that, I'm not sure. If anybody has any suggestions on the way that on that statement, then I want to check one more thing. I'm going to go to a pocketing toolpath. Maybe if it has multiple tools in it. Edit the cut depth. Edit number of passes. Can you alternate pass depths? No. I'm not sure. I would have to know what's going on there. I'd have to like see that file. Any comments?
Not anything else from him so far, and nobody's really.
Yeah, Ralph said, sounds like you're out of tram. Yeah, if you haven't trammed your machine, you definitely want to tram it. Each pass alternates the cut depth. So Ralph said it sounds like it's out of tram. That could be a possibility, because if you get the step cuts, I don't know. Anyway, okay. I would like to know more about that, but not here. We'll
He says the file is right from your video on YouTube.
Is it? Okay. Well, John, send an email. Send an email with the file that you have. I want to see it.
All right. From Wandering Star, we've met him. Garrett, I have noticed that since you are now broadcasting from home, your M&M feeds and speeds have gone way down. What are you doing to correct that?
That is too funny. Liberty, why is my M&M feed and speed way down?
Because they're not at your house.
Yeah, they're at the office. They're not here.
Yep.
That's funny. That was a nice catch.
That was a good catch.
Yeah.
All right. I recently bought the Beast Hog Combo roughing router bit set. I have not used them yet, but wondered how likely they are to break.
So really, yeah. So like all bits are breakable. Okay. And there are best practices and non-best practices when it comes to those bits. So we do get broken bits back from those because they're aggressive bits, and I am going back in to look at how people are using them. But there's a couple things that I have caught to limit the breakage on that. And first of all, the one thing is the longer the hog, the longer one, it works much better from offset cutting. In other words, it comes in and it starts to work its way outward instead of doing like profile. No, it works good on raster. What you generally want to do, folks, with these bits that I've found, the deeper you want to go, what you want to do is you want to ramp in at a 1/4 inch pass on a profile. If you're doing a pocket, you want to ramp in around the profile. So you're doing a profile pass first, and that ramp in should be at a 1/4 inch depth of cut. You can go at a pretty high feed rate. With the hog, maybe, we said 80 inches per minute. Beast, you can go much higher than that. And so if you're on 3/4 of an inch, you'll ramp in a 1/4. So to make 3 passes around to do that profile pass first, and then you can come in and do your raster cut at your full depth of like a 3/4 of an inch. Raster should go. Here's the best thing I found with these bits. When you're rastering when you're rastering with them, you want to raster across the grain. In other words, So the grain on this project here, by the way, this is a 3D thing that was done with a 1/8 ball nose. So the 1/8 ball nose can do very fine projects, but you want those roughing bits to go across the grain like that. And what that does is that it helps sustain it's easier to cut the chips away that way. And it's not, when it's going with the grain, because it's got such a high step over, it wants to chip away big chunks, and sometimes it wants to pull inward. And this is what I'm finding with that. So raster across the grain, and you'll have really good performance, nice clean chips. All right, there we go.
All right. Isn't the O flute already a ball nose? And I will be back.
Okay, no, it is not. Yeah, I'm not sure that'd be a good use for O flute as a ball nose, but no, O flute. If there is one, I don't have it, and I've never ordered one. Gary is saying, have you thought about a division for people to send projects with G code for free in a library of freebies that was as watchers of the show could download? I like the idea. That's a community-based thing, which I am thinking about starting. So I would build a community to do that. The thing with the G code, so I will give files with G code, but I am very explicit on the instructions on how that needs to be run. So if we're giving G code, we definitely need very clear instructions. And when I'm giving G code, I have probably made the project 4 times before I even will give that G code, because I got to verify it. The last thing I want to do is give people a project and they buy a bit to get that project and they break it because I've provided G code. That doesn't work. And I also have a disclaimer. You're using G code that I wrote. You have to test run all those things first. So, but the files, yeah. CNC Entrepreneurs Facebook group, we got files there. Most of the CNC Facebook groups have free files that people have shared. They're not really well organized, but eventually we will get to that as I build up community, like a private community. Randy, let's see, we are engraving in a program. When could you see using the feed rate override when you're engraving in a program? So first of all, the feed rate override he's talking about. Let me make sure I got my G-Sender loaded up. I do. And I got to switch it on the screens. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, it's not going to show up right now. And so for the feed rate override, it's really a feel. So that's a good question. I haven't done it. You don't want to override engraving. So I'm going to assume you're talking engraving of metal. And if you are wanting to do that, it's like any tool that cuts, there is a maximum feed that you can go before you start affecting the quality of the cut, the performance of the tool, the durability of the tool. But if it looks like it's not doing its best performance, then try to play with it a little bit. But I would always practice with that first. So I don't know, because I don't normally do engraving enough to warrant or claim I have the knowledge to answer that question with adequate knowledge. It's Mike. Hey, Mike, what's going on? If Thomas is having the same problems as me, the machine just goes into the table all on its own. So, okay, so it sounds like you're talking about a machine. It's diving, when it's running, it's diving into the spoil board. I've seen that happen. Usually that's, it's never happened on this machine here, the alt mill. That's, that's probably a technical thing. One of the reasons could be your zero was set for a different shorter bit, and then you put a longer bit and forgot to reset the zero, and then when you start, you drive it in. Let's see. Yeah, but you might want to talk to your machine company. If it happens over and over again, then you definitely need to talk to your machine company and see if there's a loose wire or something like that. I've seen it on. It was like the Bob CNC that I had. It would do that to me once in a blue moon. There was one of the jumper connectors was loose. It would back off after a while when it was running. It just vibrations would make it slip off, and then the machine would act really weird. Dusty, on my 1/8 of an inch call,
Call it.
Oh, call it. Okay. You have two different ones. Well, either one of them work. I've had problems with the Badger. I know I could have been far enough. And it's not as far as the cutting flutes.
So I believe he's talking about our standard 4/8 collet and our precision collet.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about the little sleeve collet, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You're talking about these guys right here. So that's a little adapter collet. So these generally these are catch-all type of tools. Ideally, you don't want to use these. You can work with them, but you definitely have to tighten your collets even more. This is an adapter. It goes into a 1/4 inch collet, reduces it down to an 1/8 of an inch. Dusty, the best thing you can do is order a collet that fits your machine that has the 1/8 inch. That is a fitted collet for it, like a Makita. If you have a Makita, we've got the precision collet for the Makita that is 1/8.
And then we have the CLPs.
Yeah, the CLPs. Let me get that. I'm not sure I've got them here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, these are the. Okay, yeah, that's the other alternative. So this is the larger one, right? So these are much better than the other ones. Thank you for mentioning that, Liberty. This one's for a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch. These are made much more precise. Cost quite a bit more, as you'll see when you go to the IDC Woodcraft website. And we have this for a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch. These have much better grab. They're much longer and they fit much better. So that's an alternative too. That'll work a lot better than the other little tiny sleeve collets.
And we do have that in an 1/8 inch, a 1/4 inch, and a couple other sizes, I think.
Yeah, we got a 1/4 to an 1/8, 1/4 to 3 millimeters, 1/2 to a 1/4, and 1/2 to an 1/8. Is that right?
Sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have the 2/4 and the 2/8. That would be 1/2 to 1/4, 1/2 to 1/8.
Right.
So
Terry's
right.
yeah, hold on. I got Terry. I use the adapter collet without any problems, but you do have to tighten it a little more. Yes, you do. And,
Beautiful. Thank you, Terry.
Yep. Just see if there's any other comments in here regarding that. Okay, let's roll on.
All right. Am I like freezing for you at all?
Just slightly.
A little bit. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be over here, and then the next thing you're over here.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Wooden Indian carvings, Mike Taylor. Vectric does have V-transfer. I've never used it, and I don't know how well it works. Have you ever used it?
Yeah, Mark Lindsay would be the better one to answer that and explain what V-transfer is. Mark, if you wouldn't mind, come on board if you're still in the show. Come on board and explain what V-transfers and how people can use it. But I think it's when you're upgrading. So Julianne will send you the link. But I believe what V-transfer is when you upgrade your Vectric software, it'll transfer all your information into that from your previous version software. Does that sound right? We'll find out. If Mark's on board, we'll get him on here and he can tell us.
Last I saw a few minutes ago, he was commenting, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we get Mark on board and he can show us.
All right. Garrett, question. I am building a 4x4 CNC machine, my own design. Do you
Cool.
know if I can buy an alt mill super longboard controller to run it?
Yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. As a matter of fact, that's the one I recommend that you get. As a super longboard, I mean, you can get the Masso controller, but the super longboard is much more easier to work with. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, yes. Shut up, Garrett. Just yes.
Rob M, will you have any keyhole bits in stock in the future? Yes, we are working very hard to get them in. Very hard.
Yeah.
It's just our production has been working on a few other things, so but they are on their way, I promise. If you go on our website and you click notify me when available, as soon as we restock, you will get an email or a text or whatever you choose to put in. You'll be notified.
Yeah, we've been out of that for a while, so there is reason for us to be out of stock, but because I almost want Julianne to come on board and talk a little bit about the throes of being in business and as the volume requirements increase and business strategies change and how it works. Julianne, you want to talk about what happens in the back end of business when it comes to bit management on that end? She's not shaking her head no. Come on board. It's kind of interesting, folks, to learn about when, as a consumer, we don't always know what happens in the back end of a business. We don't see it, right? We're buying a package, something that's in a package, and the amount of work that all companies go through in order to bring something to market is freaking insane. And the more product we get on board, the more complicated it gets. So talk, Julianne,
when you first mentioned that, all I could do was cringe. Basically, when I first started, it was very easy to manage. With the number of bits we had, it was like, okay, we have our order limits, we have our stock numbers, everything works out. Sales start going up, demand starts increasing. It's on your all's end, it's fantastic. You know, orders are going out, you're purchasing bits. It's the greatest thing. On the back end, it is in a different way, duly demanding. So it is an increase in where our limits are being reached. It is a look at the data of what's been going out, how often it's been going out. What are the projections of how much will be going out? Do we need to increase something because we're having a sale? It's just budgeting in with that of how much do we need to actually put towards product? How much do we need to, set back for other things that we've already been taking care of? It's a whole lot of adjustment, a whole lot of data analysis, a whole lot. It's a whole lot. I don't want to bore you with like business part of it, but it's stressful, but in a good way.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of, not overwhelming our our makers of, our manufacturers, sometimes we're low on, say maybe 7 bits, but in order to get the bits here a little bit quicker and keep production moving smoothly, we can only order 5 of those, and then we'll order those other 2 with the other 5, just to keep things flowing well. It's such, like you said, it's such a science, it's such a data thing.
I call it bit triage.
Yes.
Yeah. So um, I am joining 2 organizations. One is the Strategic Coach organization, right? This is, but the EOS, the one we're going to tomorrow, that's we're at a point in the company where it's getting too complex for us to manage in our heads and the way we're doing it, right? And so we need to build that up. We need to create a better system, and that's the story of every company. You always reach. They call it the valley of death. So business growth, it kind of goes like this. You go like that, and so things are going great, and then you hit a peak where you can't. Your current system, what got you here, is crashing into a ceiling now, and the business is growing, trying to grow. The customer base is demanding, but we only have so much capacity, and that then things start to fall apart. Things start to break, and that's the valley of death, right? So it goes down, and we have to figure out how to work with that so we can start climbing up again. That means we all have to grow. The business has to grow. The business structure has to change. The people have to grow, and the team has to grow in different ways. I have to grow as a company leader. There's so much that goes on with that. So we are going into a shift, a phase, and these guys are very involved in it. Right? They have say so on what happens in the company. I think they have more say so than I know. But yeah, they got lots of say so. They get to pull lots of strings, and I like it that way because that's why I brought them on board. I could not manage it anymore as a solopreneur. All right, let's handle a couple more questions, and then we will. I guess Mark had popped out then, didn't he? Wasn't able to come on
Yeah,
board.
looks like it.
Okay, we still have a giveaway to do.
We do, we do. I've
Yeah.
been trying to use blue tape before cuts so I can paint pockets. I'm not getting clean cuts on the tape. Is there better speed or bit to use to make the cuts on the top of the tape clean? Also, I love the name, Doc Pickles.
So, what would you say on that? He's using blue tape.
Blue tape. So I would recommend Aura Mask would be my first recommendation.
Yeah.
Second recommendation would be a pre-prep and a post-prep. And what I mean by that is before you put your Aura Mask on, put a clear coat on. Then put your Aura Mask down. Cut your stuff out, put a clear coat on again, or whatever that outer color may be. So that way any kind of gappage that may be involved, whether it be a chip in the wood or something like that, your colors stay clean and consistent, your, things like that. And then do your color after you've done that secondary clear coat after the cut. As far as the bits to make the cuts clean, I would say it really depends upon what kind of cut you're making, how deep of a pocket it is. If it's not a super deep pocket and you can edge it with one of the blade V bits, I would actually recommend that. I learned in my last couple of flat V depth carves that like the Badger is not great for Aura Mask. It will catch. I mean, it's meant for roughing. It's meant for grabbing that material and shooting it away. And so it's better to have that V-bit go through and separate that Aura Mask out first before I bring in that Badger that's going to make that Aura Mask disappear.
Yeah.
So a couple of different options. Also a down cut if you're doing a clear pocket, a down cut so it's pulling that material down rather than pulling it up away from the wood itself. You don't want anything like giving that edge to separate.
Yeah. But I love hearing that. Liberty's definitely getting this stuff. It's so cool. So this is what Aura Mask is, right? This is the video I just finished. I ran through this project here at Home Sweet Home, and it's this vinyl. It's a thin vinyl adhesive. You apply it on. I don't think I've got a video that actually I know I got a short. We did a live where I did the Mora mask, but maybe we need to make a regular video about how to apply the masking.
Yep.
We should be able to do that video together. Yeah, tape is not going to work well. Period.
Yeah.
All right, there's a couple of gifts here. Got Erickson Design and Woodworking gave us a steak fund, $10. We definitely are steak chop house behind, so we have to get that in. Julianne, put that on the list to schedule it in. Let's get we can go up there for lunch or something. We got another one here from, let's see, Grant. $5 more for the steak fund. All right, I think we need a lunch on Friday for that. Let's see if we set that up. You guys up for a steak on Friday?
I can't do Friday. I can't do this Friday.
Okay.
But
right,
we will set something up for the very, very, very near future. Me and Julianne will talk in the morning.
Okay. For V-Transfer, Mark said, let's see, lets you run your CNC machine directly from Vectric software. It only works with certain machines. So reach out to Vectric, see if it'll work with yours. There you go. I think I played with it once, long time ago. And just for that, from then on, I don't even see it in the software. So I'd be curious if it does work with the alt mill. That would be a worthy try.
All right.
Guess we only got a couple more here.
I was going to say, this one we kind of already answered. I think they just asked it a second time.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that one.
Okay.
All right, Garrett, I have an alt mill getting error code 2022, in normal mode, but work fine in other modes. Any guidance?
Error code 22. First, I got to see what that error code is. So I'm going to
I was going to say, I don't know what that error code is off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but I've received that one many times, if at all.
We have a download. If you can find that download link, just give them the direct download. That will has all the error codes for GRBL machines. So let's see, where is that error? I know I've got it. I got it on a PDF, and I actually just saw it the other day. That code. Come on.
There's the link.
Yeah, I thought I used to have it in my downloads.
Here we go. All right, 22. That's 17. Here's 22. Undefined feed rate. Feed rate has not yet.
Okay, that's where I saw it. Okay, all right, got it. I know where your problem's at. And when I release that video, it's going to explain it. But I will tell you guys here. So, excellent. What am I sharing right now? I'm going to stop sharing that. And I'm going to, this is not going to display right. I got to change my display resolution. Hang on a second. Display settings. So this shows up properly. Display settings. Otherwise, it's just not going to show up right. Hang on. We're going to go to, oh man, no wonder. So my eyes had gotten kind of tough, so I had to adjust my screen. Now they're getting a little bit better. It still didn't change that. So what is going on? Okay, I think I can get into it now. Okay, we're going to share screen. This is a good one for everyone who uses G Sender and is upgrading to the 1.5 G Sender. So we are going to go here. So when you download the G-Sender, the new version 1.5, this video is being released tomorrow that walks you through the whole thing. What he's talking about is right over in this area. They've got the rapid mode, the normal mode, and the precise mode. And when you install G-Sender version 1.5, it's going to default to normal mode. And you're going to notice that all these numbers here are going to say 0. And it shouldn't say 0. So that error 22 is coming from this specific field right here where it's looking for feed rate. And so it's saying undefined feed rate. So here's how you fix this. You want to go into the config area. So that's in the lower left corner, right down here at the bottom. It's not, take his message off. There we go.
Sorry.
Right
Thank
there,
you.
right. Yep. In the lower left corner says config. Click that, and you're going to be in the basics mode. So it's the button at the very top, and it says basics right here. Scroll down to jogging presets, and you're going to see rapid, normal, and precise. The normal is going to be yellow, and you're going to have this little reset button here. So you want to hit that reset button, and it's going to ask you if you want to make those changes, and it's going to change those numbers to the defaults. And then you're going to click the apply settings. In this case, it would turn green. It didn't need to apply because for some reason the settings were already in there. I'm not sure why it was yellow, but I'm glad it was. You'll hit the apply settings. You'll go back to the carve screen by hitting the little icon at to the left. And then what you need to do, this number will still not be changed when you're on normal. Okay, what you have to do is click like rapid or precise, and then click back in the normal, and the numbers will be changed, and it will pick it up from there, and you won't get that error. So that is exactly why you're having that problem. So for anybody that's working with the new G-Sender, it's coming in with that the normal settings set at 0, and so you have to reset them. I haven't talked to the guys at CNC Labs to let them know. All right, so with that, the questions are done. I guess it's time for giveaway.
Woo-hoo. Giveaway time, giveaway time, giveaway time, giveaway time. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ready for a giveaway, for a giveaway, for a giveaway. All right, tonight, ladies and gents, we are giving away a one-of-a-kind IDC Woodcraft hat. I'm giving you the image here because I don't know where mine is.
Oh,
So
I have
imagine
mine.
it says
Hold on.
IDC Woodcraft here. Thank you, my stage team, as they're getting the costumes. Along with that, we will be giving away a 1/8 inch, there you guys go, 1/8 inch compression bit.
Ooh.
There we go.
It won't fit. I've got my
Woo-bit.
clip in my hair.
Put it in the
Woo-bit.
comments exactly as you see it. Make sure that hashtag or that pound sign, whatever you want to call it, is right in front of those words.
There. We have the IDC hat on the cat tree.
Woohoo!
Go wobble over here.
That's cool.
Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Woobits. Woobits.
Woo-bit.
I like that. Woobits. We should make that our new little, instead of when I come in the office, instead of saying, hi, everybody, I'll go, Woobits.
Woo-bit.
Woobits.
I got
All right, so anybody that's going to be at the AWFS, when you come up and see me, you need to say Woobits, Garrett. And
There you go.
And you will win what should we give them if they do that?
I don't know. Could we do a discount code?
Yeah, we'll give them a private discount code.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, because I can message it to you right away. I can say, okay, Anthony came up to me and said, Woobits at the AWFS, and I'll message you and say, give Anthony a direct his own private discount code.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
I like
yep.
that idea.
Oh, also, I don't know if you saw it earlier. What days is he going to be at AWFS?
AWFS, yeah.
Yeah, what days are you going to be there, Garrett?
What days?
He is going to be there on Tuesday and Wednesday. Hold on. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm going to be there Thursday too.
No, hold on. Oh, no, you're not. You're going to be there Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm looking at the wrong schedule.
I'm
Tuesday,
wondering.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can, since I'll be in Nevada, if maybe I can just go drive down to Cody's.
Cody
Well,
said he
he'll
would
be there on Tuesday, so you should talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that might be worthwhile. Then we'd have to fly Adam out really quick.
All right. I say we draw. How many do we have?
Let me look. Let me get it enlarged here. It's so
Zoomy
tiny.
zoom.
126.
Yay.
126. Oh my gosh. I love these.
Yes. One of y'all added an extra W. Make sure it's spelled right after you hit enter. If not, go ahead and try and put it in again. Make sure autocorrect is off.
What on earth kind of noise is coming from Garrett?
It sounds like
that was me opening the door on my.
I knew it.
Did somebody say it was 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I got my airplane bottle. I had to run and get more.
So that's the door that I opened up there, folks. Barn door.
All right. I'm going to give it one more minute because I got to catch up on
It's
2 drinks.
rabbit season.
Rabbit season.
Okay. Garrett's buying lunch at Woobits.
Here's buying lunch at Woobits. That's actually a cool name for a bar. The CNC bar.
Arcade
So it'd be one of those
bar.
bars where you have CNC paraphernalia all over the walls. You know, like some bars have records everywhere.
And instead of pennies epoxied in the bar, we have all of our broken bits that got sent back from our guarantees epoxied in the bar.
We could do that. What about what about the defects? When we'll get sometimes we'll order and something's wrong with the grind. We have to send them back, or sometimes
We
say
epoxy those into the straw holders.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Wascal rabbits.
Wascal Woobits.
I almost used that one as the code tonight, Grant. I almost did bits in bits, but he's like bitso bits.
So bits.
I almost used that one.
I should talk to the guys over at Bits and Bits. I haven't talked to them at all.
IDC's Roadhouse Bar.
Yes.
Oh, I like it. It's got to have a CNC flavor to it. Right. So, yeah.
The
But I
wood
like
shop.
it. Kind of cool. What would the interior look like? What? How would we decorate the bar? That's what I want to see in the bar names, and I want the Emporium. Yeah, I want bar names, and I want to know what we would have inside the bar.
I'm thinking like a mix of like obviously a lot of wood, but like also industrial.
Yeah. Industrial. What? There's no place like X. XOYOZO.
There's no place like home.
There needs to be a shirt.
I don't
A
think
shirt
we're in
that says
Kansas
that.
anymore.
That's the that would be the tagline for it.
Oh, that would be cool. Decorated with ruined spool boards.
Yeah.
Floorboards, firewood projects.
Mm-hmm.
That would kind of be cool too. Projects that didn't make the cut because they failed the cut. The cut failed them or something like that.
That make the bar stools look like upside down end mills.
That would be cool.
That'd be neat. Wally the alligator.
All right.
All right. Ready to do our first drawing of the night?
Yep.
All right. Oh, I just realized that I didn't have our little banner going across. My bad. Okay. Here we go. We can get some last minute.
I see is a large, slow-moving gantry. It should have a big router bit that just comes down, and if you're sitting at the bar, and the way it just comes in.
Yes.
All right, that's getting a little morbid. Okay.
CNC service.
All right, you guys. We got 128 people entered, so let's go ahead and draw this.
Yeah, they're getting a hat,
First
right?
one.
Da, 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 da.
Cheered on by the rooster.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Jeff. Woo!
Jeff gets a hat.
See, I can never see I don't see what dances you guys are doing. I always have to go to the other screen, so I never see the celebration for that you guys are having. All right, we ready to do our second one really quickly?
Yeah, let's go. Number 2. Drum roll.
Go. Well, it's Howard.
Howard Cook.
Congrats, Jeff and Howard. Woo!
Yay!
You get your own IDC ball cap.
Yep. And you guys, all you have to do is go over to rdcwoodcraft.com and go to our contact us page. You're going to put Wednesday winner as the subject. And because we're sending you physical things, I would need your name, your address, and possibly your phone number. You have to enter your email automatically. So to get your stuff, I will need that information.
That's cool. So they're getting a hat, and what else are they getting?
They are getting
an 1/8-inch compression bit.
Oh, 1/8 compression. Okay, cool.
What she said.
All right, sweet. So get a hat and a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep,
and of course, I mean M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
And some M&Ms. That's a gimme.
Yep.
Do you ever throw in pens when you do that too?
We kind of load them up with everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody asked me earlier, did I have an NRA pen? So this was a gift. So these are 30-06 casings. Somebody sent this to me a long time ago. So how many bags of M&Ms you want?
Oh.
So.
I don't know. After working around them for a while, you kind of don't want the M&Ms.
Right.
I don't remember the last time I had an M&M.
I don't either. Do you still collect the defective packages? Sometimes we get these little packages with like 1 or 2 M&Ms in it. How many boxes of M&Ms do we buy at a time?
6 or 7 cases worth at a time, and that's usually at a 2 to 3 month frequency.
Okay. So. And how many per case? How many those little M&M packs per case?
500.
I think it's like over 500 or something like that.
Yeah, I need to order more already. Hold on. Let me look real quick.
Yeah. How much does 5, 6, 7 cases of M&M cost?
Well, it depends. It actually that's something that has encountered some cost increase for us.
Tariff issues, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it used to be about 600-700-ish.
Just for M&Ms, that's what we spent.
Yep.
All right. Well, folks, we are going to check out. Wow, shoot. We actually made an hour and a half. Good grief. Wait, 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. I did not expect that. Time was going by so fast. All right, well, folks, we're going to check out. And next week, who knows, we're going to have Jack in the Shop, Andy Bird. We'll see. And with that, folks, we will catch you next week.
Before we pop off, Ray, if you want to shoot that address info to the contact us page, that will work.
Yep.
And-
Contact us page on the IDC Woodcraft website.
Yep. And Mark, I do not eat all the W's. I eat the E's, okay?
All right, folks, we will catch you next week.
Have a good night, everybody.